Okay, so in this video, I want to do something I don't usually do on this channel here and talk about, on a bigger perspective, wealth. I know we talk a lot about trading, kind of being in the market day to day, and that's all good, but I want to do a video that's like more general to really address wealth building and how to actually accumulate wealth in your 20s. I'll share with you today my tips from experience. Not something I read in the book, but some things I actually do myself on a daily basis to have been able to grow my wealth quite well in the past 2 years. I just turned 30 years old a few weeks ago. So this stuff is stuff I've done myself for 10 years in my 20s. I've kind of learned from trial and error how to do things better. And usually I'll share with you my tips and, of course, what I've learned so far. Now, I want to say first, I don't consider myself to be an expert at all. I'm not like a financial advisor, any kind of expert when it comes to wealth and becoming wealthy. I've done a fair share for myself. I'm pretty happy with where I am today. But there's something that's going to do better. So let me know in the comment section below if you agree or not with those tips. Anything you would do different, let me know in the thoughts below. I want to hear what you think. And hopefully you can share your advice and kind of discuss wealth building in general too. That'd be cool to talk about. Okay, so what I want to share with you first, I think it's the basic principle of all this. The thing that will make the biggest difference is having a system to manage your money, no matter how much you make. If you make $1,000 a month in your 20s, that's okay too. You can definitely do it. If you make $10,000 a month or $20,000 a month or even more than that, that's also okay too. I'm very lucky to be able to run a business and trade full-time. That is what allows me to accumulate money, I would say faster than most people. But if you're not at that level yet, then that's okay too. And you're able to do it the same by just using the salary you have and using the system to manage your wealth better. Like you've heard this everywhere online. People talk about, oh, you should save money, you should invest money. That stuff is all good. But what I do is I break it down. So every month that I earn money, I'm making sure that I use some of it for investing. And I've learned this a few years back. So let's say you earn $10,000 a month. Now, I'm making it to you very simple, very easier to manage that with for my calculation here. But put this to whatever amount of money you earn per month in your 20s. It could be $3,000, it could be $2,000. It really doesn't matter here. I'm taking your needs example. I think it's good goal to reach $10,000 a month plus if you can. It's definitely worth it. Not enough to live like a freedom lifestyle necessarily. It's not enough to be able to like completely go and travel and have a lot of free time for some people. Or you could do it, but depends what level you're at with your kind of, I would say, lifestyle requirements. What I want to do is, if I earn $10,000 a month, I want to make sure I can spend money and I can spend on things that I don't care about. Like I can spend to travel, I can spend to do stuff that I want to do. We don't have to like necessarily always save money and save the most we can. But it's a good idea to first spend some money. So in the beginning, when I was doing this, like back a few years ago, I was maybe earning $2,000 a month, around 22, 25 years old. And that was good enough, but I had to spend most of it to be able to survive and just live normal. So that started with, I was spending about 60% of my income just to be able to live. That could be different for you. Could be, of course, not the same. Over time, I've brought this number down here to around 30%. Ideally, I want to have it around maybe 20%. That's kind of like my goal. I can spend 20% of the money I earned and I have 80% to do stuff after with it. What I do with it afterward is the most important. I make sure that I invest some money. Okay, but now we have two different ways to invest money. We have a passive investment and we have active investment. What this means is a passive is something you put on the side that you don't really worry about. It will grow over time without too much like ups and downs. You can just go away and not worry about it, and then you go with it. So that's good, but I want to invest all my money into it because it's not going to grow really fast. Like that could grow maybe at a 5% per year. Maybe it's growing at an 8% per year. Let's say that you buy a index fund like the S&P. That's good enough. That's long term. So this is my long-term account. And people have different ways of doing this. So that could be like real estate. Real estate is pretty flat, increased value, but not very fast. And over time slowly, which is a good thing. Or it could be like a investment portfolio. Right, let's say you buy bonds, you buy stocks a little bit, not too many, and you buy indices. Maybe it's bringing like a 5-8% per year. Right? That would be passive investing. It's not going to go up and down. It's going to be very flat, but grow over time. More than inflation, hopefully. Being able to give you a buffer when you retire or later in life. Next thing I do is I invest that money too, that I earn actively. So when you want to actually grow faster. And of course, in the last few years, there's been a lot of cryptos. I don't do cryptos too much. But if you want to do cryptos, like don't put all your money into it and you will be able maybe to grow it over time. Next would be like trading. For me, this is trading. I think the biggest thing that people will think about too when it comes to investing is investing in themselves. I've taken over time many coaches or many mentors that actually got me to increase my revenue, increase my income by learning some more skills, being better at trading, of course, being better at business. And these things help me a lot to to advance it to be able to make more money. So then I'm able to actually increase that amount over time. It will not stay at the same level, but the way to not make it stay at this level is if you increase your skills and learn new things over time. The next thing I do is I actually give some money to charity. Now what I do is I have a pool of money I keep away, and whatever is, if I find a good cause I care about, or I find someone who really needs money for whatever reason, like again, a good cause, I might give money that way. So charity, giving, any kind of cause you care about, that's where you want to do it. I found this really increases your mindset. And for some reason, when you give money, it tends to come back to you over time. If you don't trust me, that's fine, but you can try it out, see if it works for you. That's also a good way to invest your money because you feel good about it when you give money to other people. So you can put these numbers that you want here. What I do is I do about my passive now, at this moment in time, given that I only spend 30% of my income, this is somewhere about, I believe, 25%. My charity is only about 5%. I could increase this, of course, if I want to, but for now, it's probably what I spend. Like I said, I save it, put it somewhere else. And when I have to give it, I give it, and that's how it works. And the active investment here is the rest, which is, in that case, somewhere around 40%. So you see, I invest most of it actively because I'm young. Of course, in your 20s, you have some time. You don't have to really worry about the returns right now. If you are older, it might be a different kind of level here. You could decide to invest more passively and less actively, kind of play with these numbers over time. But for me, that's kind of how I do it for now. Now, this system works, like I said, no matter how much you earn, no matter how much you need to spend, you can tweak these numbers, make it your own, as long as you have a system behind it and a way to increase your money over time. That's really what matters the most. And like I said, investing is really how you get rich the most. Like you could, of course, increase your revenue. That's really important. But if you invest in, of course, you can do real estate. I don't do real estate at all. I've never bought a condo or a house or anything of the sort. I prefer to rent right now. Or you can, of course, invest in the stock market, in bonds, in stocks, in indices, maybe also in cryptos a little bit. Those are good ways to increase your capital over time. Now, it won't be the main source of cash flow, but it's going to be a good source of increasing your wealth over time. The cash flow mostly comes from your skills and how much you actually earn in your job. Now, of course, you could have a good job that's well paying. Maybe you got a good job out of university and you make money with that and you're happy with it. Or maybe you are working a job you don't like or don't make enough money with. And that's okay too, because you can always increase your income with your skills. We'll talk about skills again in just a second. Now, one point I want to make here is it's okay to spend money on things you care about. Like you hear people online say, you got to save, don't get in debt, you got to be careful where you spend your money, don't spend too much on this, don't spend too much on that, don't travel because it costs money. And I think what you got to do is really pick your spending areas. So what this means is, for me, for example, I love to fly business class. That's something I'm willing to pay for. I'm willing to take my money I earn, I work hard for in trading on business, and use it for that. I love to stay in luxury hotels a lot. So when I travel, I want to be in like fancy hotels. I don't want to stay in like hostels, like cheap hotels when I travel, usually, most of the time. But at the same time, I drive a car, a Mazda 2 that I didn't pay much for. I paid, I think, like $13,000 in that car a few years ago. And I'm not going to buy a new car every year or every 2 or 3 years because I don't care about that stuff. I care about traveling more than cars. So you can spend money on whatever you like, more than other areas, but just not on everything you like. That's the key here. Now, I know this might sound like fancy or anything, or like not something you want to do if you earn less money, but keep in mind that I also do it because it kind of pushes my mindset. Sometimes I meet cool people that way. Sometimes I'm just inspired to work more or to or get new ideas. Kind of motivates me to be able to fly business class so I can go back to work and kind of work harder and kind of have new ideas and stuff and strategize more. So I find this is a good way to motivate me and also kind of have a prize for working hard and doing stuff that is important to me. I know some people want to save all their money and they want to be able to like live on very little and kind of they're happy with it to have a very minimal lifestyle with a lot of money in the bank. That's cool if it works for you. That's personally not how I live my life. I can be simple when I need to be simple, and then I can go overboard and like be fancy when I need to be fancy. And that's kind of the good thing about life. So I think the main thing you can do in your 20s if you want to build wealth, and this is really kind of coming from myself and what I've gone through, is you really got to grow your skills. I think it's very hard to build wealth if you don't have good skills, or if you just have skills that's just stagnant for many, many years. I heard a quote one day. I was like, someone say that some people work for 30 years and they complain about having the same salary or like not growing. But they actually kind of just repeat the same year and not grow the skills. And I think if you learn more things, you become more valuable. You can always earn more money that way. A lot of people are stuck living with low income. I'm sure you've seen this on social media everywhere. People are complaining about how little money they earn. They're complaining about why the government doesn't do this, doesn't do that. But when it comes to doing something to increase it, they don't want to do anything. They just want to be comfortable. And that's really the thing that will not prevent you from making money in your 20s. The worst thing you can do is wait for the government to increase your income or do something for you. You gotta take responsibility first and actually do it yourself. And that's all it comes down to. Now, if you're still around here for this video, I'll give you a few quick things I've done to really increase my wealth. And these are things that you might be aware of, you might not be aware of, it depends. But if you've been watching that long, I really appreciate you, and I'll give you the tips here and everything that I know about it. And then in the comment section below if you actually have any other tip, any other advice. But what I've done really is, I know there's a lot of debate about taxes and like, of course you should pay taxes and whatever. People say you should not pay taxes. Other people always say you should be contributing to the society and everything. But really, if you make a lot of money and you work many, many hours for this, and you really work hard for this, and you build your own business, or like let's say you trade or something, does it make sense to give half your income to the government? Here in Canada, where I'm staying right now for the summer, the income tax is about 50% of your salary, if you make a good salary. They have a different tax for capital gain, but very similar. So what I've done is I've looked at other places where it's better to live, where the income tax is lower. You can create a company. There's many places for this. Hong Kong is one of them. Singapore is one of them. Dubai, of course, is a really big one. And if you just move your company there, your income is pretty much not taxed, where capital gains in some places are also not taxed at all. And that means that you have half of your income more in your pocket in the year. You compare your salary to people from like Canada or the US, they'll pay half their salary in taxes while you actually keep everything that you earn. And that's a big difference. There's a channel on YouTube called Nomad Capitalist that talks about moving where you're treated best. So being able to go and actually benefit from better taxes, better living conditions, as opposed to be in Canada or the US if the conditions are not good for you. And that's really what it comes down to. Another thing I've done in my 20s to be able to grow my income is to focus on my strength, understanding really what I'm better at, both in the trading and business, figuring out where is my key area, what I should be doing, what things I should not be doing. And then I delegate those things to my team, people that work for me now. And that's been making a big difference. Like I said, all the way everything here, that is something I'm always learning about and working on and trying to get better at to be able to grow my wealth over time. I don't know all the answers, but if you have any thoughts, make sure you comment below. If you want to see how I trade, my trading, how it actually works, if you're coming from on this video, you want to see how I trade, I'll put the course below. It's a free course where I go through my strategy. I go through step by step what I trade, what things I focus on, how I look at the charts. You'll learn a lot from that course if you want to check it out. It's good for beginners too, if you're not really experienced. That being said, make sure you subscribe for today, and I'll catch you back here in the next video pretty soon. Ciao.